I am happy to turn to your questions.
Ned, can I ask you, this is an extremely logistical question, and I hope it will be a very short answer. So, but does Operation Allies Refuge now include all of the categories of people who can go out? That means SIVs, P1, P2, and this other at-risk category, or does it still just apply? Does that term, Allies Refuge, just only apply to SIVs?
So Operation Allies Refuge is
People are getting briefed on different things all over town.
Understood. It is a military operation, Operation Allies Refuge. It was a term coined by the Pentagon, so I need to refer you there to speak precisely to what that operation now entails. But what I will say more broadly, of course, is that Operation Allies Refuge, in the first instance, was an effort, an airlift operation, unprecedented airlift operation that no other administration, either in the I will get there, but that no other administration, either in the Afghan context or.
Pat yourself on the back all you want. I just want to know: does it include all of these categories now, or is it just the SIVs?
Matt, it was in the first instance an airlift operation for SIVs. Now, of course, what we're doing is offering an airlift operation. We're in the midst of an airlift operation for American citizens, for locally employed staff members, for SIVs, for vulnerable Afghans.
The entire evacuation effort is Operation Allies Refuge.
My point was that you'll need to talk to DoD to understand exactly what OAR encompasses, but obviously we have a vast airlift operation ongoing now that encompasses all of those categories.
No one is trying to say that you don't. Secondly, and I realize that and I want to make sure that this is understood, getting people out, I understand that getting people out safely is the most important thing. But are there any COVID protocols for these flights?
So our first priority is to get as many people out as we can. What we are doing, depending on where these individuals go, and as you know, there are several transit countries. There sometimes will be testing in those third countries, but our first priority right now is to bring as many people to safety as we can.
So there isn't a protocol at the airport if they are lucky enough to get through and get on. There's no testing that happens beforehand, because if you look at the pictures of packed transport planes, whatever, one or two people who are infected could, that could be a disaster, right? Especially when they arrive someplace. So anyway, you're saying there aren't.
When it comes to the transit countries, we are abiding by the regulations of those transit countries.
So there isn't any testing that happens before you get on a plane?
In Kabul at the airport, we don't at present have the capacity to test everyone on them.
Last thing, and it'll be really brief because it was kind of answered last night. But there were a bunch of reports last evening about this contingency and crisis response bureau proposal that had been made by the previous administration. And I just want to know if you guys still think that getting rid of it was the right thing to do. Was it a necessary element of the bureaucracy?
Well, I just want to correct something you said. We didn't get rid of any bureau. The bureau was never created. The bureau was proposed by the previous administration in its final days. It was, importantly, when it was conceived, it was not proposed to introduce any new capabilities whatsoever. And that may have been the cause for concern on a bipartisan basis on Capitol Hill.